Hi, my name is Jessica Nunez, and today I will be presenting my informative speech about concussions. I would first like to start off by having my audience introduce themselves.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Landry.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Karen.
Thank you. Have you ever done something so dumb or been in a situation so embarrassing you wish you could forget about it? If you really want to, it's easy. A nice concussion will do just that. In all seriousness, the reality and severity of a concussion can dangerously affect the lives of people who suffer from them. A concussion is an injury to the brain where the brain temporarily loses normal function. Most people believe that the only way you can tell if you have concussion is if you are vomiting or lose consciousness, but that is not true. In many cases, there is no external evidence that would show someone has a concussion, which is why there is a diagnostic concussion test. Throughout the course of this speech, I will be informing you on the symptoms of a concussion, identifying a concussion, as well as the many sport-related incidents of a concussion. All of the information I will inform you with today derived from the following sources: Nationwide Children's article, Concussion in Sports, American Association of Neurological Surgeons article, Concussion, and the article written by CDC titled, Heads Up Now. While our minds are still intact, let me inform you about the head-pounding symptoms associated with this injury. Concussions along with heartbreak can cause a long list of symptoms to the mind and body. Injuries to the brain may not get noticed in a routine neurological exam. Diagnostic tests typically will not show any changes. Therefore, a diagnosis is based on the severity of the incident and the appearance of specific symptoms, confusion being a primary one. There are three primary principles of confusion: the inability to maintain a straight line of focus, a disturbance of awareness, and the inability to carry out a goal-directed movement. The main symptoms that follow the initial blow of a concussion are prolonged headache, vision disturbances, dizziness, nausea or vomiting, impaired balance, confusion, memory loss, ringing ears, difficulty concentrating, sensitivity to light, dilated pupils, and loss of smell or taste. Concussions can range from moderate to severe due to the location of the blow, level of consciousness and remembrance, and the amount of movement in the brain. Concussions can alter many functions of the brain and the body, such as memory, speech, reflexes, and many more functions. If a head injury occurs while someone is in a sports competition, a coach or athletic trainer may do sideline concussion testing. This is when a trained professional does a few simple tests after a head injury to decide if the athlete needs immediate medical care. An athlete who has had a head injury must stop playing and see a doctor to get clearance before returning to their activity. Concussions do not show up on a CAT scan or MRI, so the doctor may not order a brain scan. A CT scan or an MRI might be done to look for other problems if someone was knocked out, continued vomiting, has a severe headache or a headache that worsens, or was injured in a serious accident. Many sports require athletes to wear a helmet to reduce the risk of head and neck injury, but sometimes they are unavoidable. It is very important to have coaches and athletes aware of the dangers of concussions and the testing involved in order to ensure the safety of everyone participating. Now schools and sports leagues use baseline concussion tests. Baseline testing uses computer programs to test a person's normal brain functions. It's estimated that about 3.8 million concussions occur in the USA every year during competitive sports and recreational activities. Concussions occur in all sports, with the highest incidence in football, hockey, rugby, soccer, and basketball. It's important for everyone to know the risks involved in playing sports before participating. Players should also follow the rules of the game, including wearing a properly fitted helmet and any other safety precautions required. 10% of all contact sports athletes sustain concussions yearly. Football injuries associated with the brain occur at a rate of 1 in every 5.5 games. 5% of soccer players sustain brain injuries. The head is involved in more baseball injuries than any other body part. Almost half of injuries involve the child's head, face, mouth, or eyes. An athlete who sustains a concussion is 4 to 6 times more likely to sustain a second concussion. In conclusion, you should now have a general understanding of a concussion. You should now know the symptoms and how to identify a person with a concussion, along with some knowledge of how concussions affect the sports world. Thank you for your time, and thank you for my audience for being here.